Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Ohio.
The unseasonably hot and humid weather continues here in Los Angeles as the Reds near the conclusion of this long three-city, 10-game road trip. Tonight, the third of this four-game get-together at Dodger Stadium. The Reds and the Dodgers on Fox Sports Ohio.
The actress who played Lorraine McFly.
And I had a pleasant good evening, everyone, and welcome just a little bit earlier tonight on this Saturday night to Cincinnati Reds baseball. Along with Chris Welsh, Jim Couch from Dodger Stadium, Reds try to get the upper hand again in this series as the Dodgers won here last night. This series sitting at one game apiece. Chris, the Reds will turn to another rookie pitcher in this game tonight, maybe the most unheralded of them in lefty David Holmberg.
Well, back-to-back left-handers, that's not so bad. You know, David Holmberg remains a rookie, even though he has started a major league game in each of the last three seasons, and he's done pretty well in the times that the Reds have sent him out so far this year. What I like about Holmberg is really the reaction of the hitters when they face him. It doesn't seem like they really see the ball all that well. He's got a very low opponent batting average. He's only got one win, but the earned run average is pretty good. What you're looking at of Holmberg, though, to take the next step is to try to get a little deeper in the ball game. He has yet to throw a major league pitch in the seventh inning.
There's a good graphic now we're going to see here about David Holmberg and what he has done since the middle of September last year.
Well, yeah, he got beat up early on last year, and I think it's an adjustment making it to the major leagues. But little by little, this left-hander's figuring it out. When he was with the Arizona Diamondbacks, they really had heralded him as one of these up-and-coming left-handers they thought would be a part of the rotation for a long time. But those numbers right there are mighty impressive, and that's why he's still getting the ball in this rotation as we send yet another rookie to the mound.
The Dodgers will go with Brett Anderson. This young man was a free agent signee by the Dodgers in the offseason. He got hit around pretty bad his last time out.
Well, that's really the only hiccup he's had. Even the worst start he's ever had as a Dodger was the last time out, which makes you really worried tonight because normally guys don't string back-to-back horrible outings together. He is a ground ball machine. There's no question about that. He has a couple of different fastballs. He likes to sink his fastball mostly. He's got a curveball and a slider. And if he's on his game, the Dodger infield will be mighty busy tonight.
Well, this Dodger lineup is full of big-name guys, names that everybody knows, but the two guys that have been hitting the ball pretty well, particularly in this series, is Kike Hernandez and Justin Turner.
Well, if you ask the coaches about Kike Hernandez, what they like about him most is that he can play any position in the field, this side of catching and pitching. So the fact that he has really taken over for an injury, he gets put into the lineup, and all of a sudden he gets 3 hits in each of the last 2 games, he's really hitting the ball hard. Justin Turner, well, what he's doing this year really shouldn't be a surprise because after all, he did hit .340 for the Dodgers last season. This is after he came to camp as a non-roster player at the beginning of 2014. He's a threat to be worried about because he's batting in the number 4 spot behind Adrian Gonzalez, so he normally comes up when there are runners on base.
Well, speaking of hot hitters, how about on the Red side? Brandon Phillips back in the number 1 spot in the batting order. He's been swinging a very good bat. When we step aside and come back, Jim Day will have more on that dude.
Reds and Dodgers in moments here in Fox Sports Ohio. I'm Jim Day. Brandon Phillips continues to swing a hot bat. He'll be in that leadoff spot again tonight. And he's riding a 7-game hitting streak. 400 average over that span. And we noticed right from the get-go in Goodyear, Arizona, that he was on a mission this year because he showed up many pounds lighter, has been very athletic this year, and has been very efficient stealing bases when he indeed goes. Setting the table, and the Reds hope it continues. As we look at tonight's IGS Bringing the Energy, since June 21st, he's had 5 hitting streaks of at least 7 games and at least 1 hit in 37 of 43 games. His .289 average on the season is second highest of his career. He hit 300 in 2011. Reds need that offense tonight as they try to take a 2-1 series lead. Lineups and first pitch are next with Jim Kelch and Chris Welsh on Fox Sports Ohio.
USA Regional Tourism Network. Stay close to CincinnatiUSA.com. By Chevy. Check out their award-winning lineup only at your Tri-State Chevy dealer. And by Skyline Chili. Feeling good? It's Skyline time. Take a look at the Reds lineup for this, the 115th game of this 2015 season. Phillips, Suarez, Votto at the top. Frazier, Bird, and the former Dodger, Ivan DeJesus Jr. in the middle. Pena, Holmberg batting 8th. Billy Hamilton batting 9th. Rounding things out, brought to you by Meyer. On the mound, left-hander, Brett Anderson.
27 years old, born in Texas, raised in Stillwater, Oklahoma. A ground ball pitcher extraordinaire. Not very many walks. And not a lot of strikeouts either. Not the type of guy that is going to overwhelm you with stuff, but he will underwhelm you enough to get you to hit the top part of the baseball.
He's won 6. He's lost 7. An ERA of 3.43. And this is the first time he has ever faced the Reds. To the left of the shortstop, Jimmy Rollins will make the play, and Phillips is out at first, and that's how this one, third game of this 4-game series, gets started. Here's how the Dodgers line up behind the left-hander Anderson, brought to you by your Ford dealers. They have Carl Crawford, their third different starter out in left field in this series out there tonight. Peterson in center, Puig is in right. Turner, Rollins, Hernandez, Gonzalez third to first. Anderson is caught by A.J. Ellis. We mentioned a hot, humid night here, 90 degrees in Los Angeles. Speaking of hot, here's Eugenio Suarez swinging a good bat himself. His average starts this game at 309 with 7 home runs. He's driven in 29. 1 hit last night. Joey Votto waits on deck. Swinging bunt by Suarez. Anderson will get to it and out at first. Took his time, made the play, out at first on a ground ball.
Well, he's a big man, Anderson is. He's over 6'3" and up around 240, 250 pounds. So he's not exactly a cat coming off that mound, but he does get through the ball and he does take his time and makes a good throw. And it doesn't matter by how much you get that runner as long as you get him.
You talked about he's a big time ground ball pitcher. He's gotten 2 balls hit on the ground already. The number I looked at was 60%, or right near there. That's big.
He's right among the league leaders in that category. And you know, there's something to be said for pitching down at the bottom of the zone, especially nowadays when umpires have been instructed over the last few years to make sure they call that low pitch, and that lower part of the zone has actually been expanding. Good example right there.
Puts Votto in the hole, 2 strikes. Joey comes in 9th in the league in hitting at 305.
It's not where the catcher catches it. It's where it crosses the plate.
Joey last night a pair of hits. In fact, he drove in all 3 Reds runs. He swings and just does get a piece of that ball. And an RBI double in the first, 2-run homer in the 6th inning. The home run last night is 21st. Frazier waits next. Reds trying to get a 1st inning base runner.
Good pitch recognition right there. You know, Votto his eyesight is so good. When you see that ball spinning out of the hand and it starts middle of the plate, you know it's going to end up a ball.
Up the middle, base hit, Joey Votto.
You've been saying that a lot lately.
Well, Votto, as we mentioned earlier, comes into this game 9th in the league in hitting. He has slowly but surely climbed back into the 300 mark, into the top 10. Started this game at 400 since the All-Star break. Here now is Frazier with a runner aboard and 2 men out. Homer away is Frazier from equaling his career high of 29, which he set last year. Starts the game at 260. Hitless last night, 0 for 4. Makes good contact on this ball. Deep into right center field. Looking up is Peterson. And that one is gone. Home run, Todd Frazier. That's number 29. That ties his career high from a year ago. Give him 73 runs now batted in. And a 2-0 Reds lead here in the first.
Well, Todd did not have a good night at the plate last night, and I got to figure that he came out here today figuring back-to-back left-handers. He's going to make sure that he stays patient at the plate. And Anderson elevates that ball a little bit above the knees, and that is a dangerous zone for a left-handed sinker ball pitcher. And plenty of power there as Frazier goes out to a deep part of the ballpark opposite field.
Well, Frazier had, go ahead, Chris.
When it's real warm like it is here this weekend in Los Angeles, I mean very unseasonably warm, these are the days when the ball really flies out of here.
On the ground to third. Turner throws Bird out. The inning is over, but a successful first for Cincinnati. 2-run homer by Frazier, number 29. Reds take a 2-0 lead into the bottom of the first.
For your chance to score a free breakfast.
jump out in front on the 2-run homer by Todd Frazier. Number 29 for him. Now let's take a look at the Dodger lineup. Presented by their skipper, Don Mattingly. Jimmy Rollins leads off. Kike Hernandez and Adrian Gonzalez. Turner, Puig, and Crawford in the middle. A.J. Ellis bats 7th. Jock Peterson 8th. And the pitcher, Brett Anderson, 9th. Here's David Holmberg. Called him unheralded in the open. He's kind of been the guy that goes under the radar.
Well, he's had 3 starts, and he's given exactly 2 runs up in each one of those 3 starts. Walks are probably a little higher than he wants. He's a guy that, very much like his counterpart tonight, Brett Anderson, pitches a contact and hopes to get a lot of ground balls.
24 years old, 6'3", 245. Picked up his first victory of the year, his 3rd career major league win, his last time out. In the air toward left field, and this will be handled by DeJesus for out number 1. Let me correct myself by saying he picked up his first win of the year in his first time out on the 30th of the month of July against the Pirates. Had his longest career outing his last time out, 6 2/3 against San Diego. One of those hot hitters now that we talked about for the Dodgers steps to the plate. Kike Hernandez, 305 average with 5 home runs. He has back-to-back 3-hit games in this series. Filling in at second base for the injured Howie Kendrick. Ripped to third, and staying right there in the middle of the ball is Frazier, but his throw pulls Votto off the bag, and Hernandez is safe.
And it looks like Joey Votto has a decision to make on this play. I mean, throwing errors happen. There's no question about it. And the throw was way off first base. But if Votto's able to stay on the fair side of the baseline right there, he's got a chance to get that ball and then swipe tag Hernandez as he goes by. Instead, he opts to go into foul territory, and thinking that he might be close enough still to be able to touch the base, unable to do so, and Hernandez reaches on an error.
So the tying run comes to the plate, and Adrian Hernandez. The error by Frazier is his team leading 15th of the year. Hernandez, I should say Gonzalez, the big blow in the game last night. Home run out to right field that came against the left-hander John Lamb as part of that 4-run 5th inning. His 23rd. And now Gonzalez gets ahead, 2 balls and no strikes. David Holmberg with 9 walks, a dozen strikeouts, and 17 2/3 innings thus far. He has walked 3 in each of his 3 starts so far with the Reds this year. Gets a strike in there at 2-1. Towards center. Here comes Billy Hamilton. He is not going to get it, and it falls for a single into center field. Take a look at the Reds defensively behind David Holmberg, brought to you by your Ford dealers. Reds line up like this out in left field, making his 5th start of the year out there is Ivan DeJesus Jr. Bird moves over to right. In the middle of them is Billy Hamilton. It's Frazier and Suarez on the left side. Phillips and Votto as usual on the right side. Holmberg caught by Brian Pena. There's DeJesus, the former Dodger. In fact, both he and his dad played out here in L.A. Here's Justin Turner, the 3rd baseman. Just the 3rd day that he has been activated from the disabled list. And he hits a double play ball to short. Suarez, Phillips, Votto. 6-4-3 off the delivery of David Holmberg. And the Dodgers rally thwarted in the first.
Mexico is the sign you've been waiting.
This is about the Dodgers and looking for help for Greinke and Kershaw. Look at the number comparison. An ERA of 1.99 for the big two and a 4.30 for the rest of the staff. This is kind of like the old saying, spawn insane, right?
Well, this explains why Don Mattingly gets into a bad mood the day after Clayton Kershaw pitches. Because he's, 3 days away at least from having Greinke on the mound. So little by little, as you go through the week, you go through the other guys in the rotation. Now you get the Brett Anderson, who he calls unheralded and kind of under the radar. And all of a sudden, with Anderson on the mound tonight, Don Mattingly's in a good mood because he's now looking forward to Greinke on Sunday, and of course Clayton Kershaw getting the ball the next time the Dodgers play after that. So it can be an up and down game for a manager, especially when you've got two of the best pitchers in all of baseball and some other injuries in the rotation that have caused your number 5 starter, Anderson, to be the number 3 starter now at this stage of the season.
Well, the Reds get fortunate in this series to not have to face Clayton Kershaw, but not so fortunate with Greinke, who will throw here, as Chris mentioned, tomorrow afternoon. Anderson, this guy has been injury riddled, hasn't he, throughout his career? I mean to tell you. You can look all the way back really to 2010. Injury after injury after injury. He's not had a complete season injury free since 2009, his rookie year. I mean, he's had shoulder injuries. He's had Tommy John. He's had ankle injuries. He's had lower back issues. Hand issues. Last year only made 8 starts with Colorado. Year before that 5 starts and some relief appearances with Oakland. 33-39 career record for this left-hander.
Well, even this year, Anderson has had some injury problems. He had an Achilles problem that has not really kept him out very long, but still in all, it's something that's kind of another nagging thing, and you're always worried about a leg injury for a pitcher so that he doesn't alter his delivery.
Another ground ball out by Brett Anderson, so all 5 outs that he has recorded have been on the ground so far in this game, and he'll face the pitcher now, Holmberg, looking for a perfect second.
As I said, Anderson was born in Midland, Texas, raised in Stillwater, Oklahoma, and he had some kind of an incredible high school career. 22-8 with an earned run average of 0.9 in his career, 276 strikeouts. And he was all set to go to play for his father, Frank Anderson, who was a coach at Oklahoma State University. And that's when he was drafted by the Oakland Athletics in the second round. He was tempted still to not sign in the second round, go back, play college baseball, and prove to everybody that he was a first-round pick. But when the Athletics offered him close to $1 million in a signing bonus, he decided to go ahead and turn pro.
And ball hit hard, diving stop by Hernandez, and from his knees throws out David Holmberg. Holmberg making a bid for a second career hit, thwarted by Kike Hernandez.
Back to the Future night here at Dodger Stadium. They will show the movie on the big boards after the game. And before the game, you remember the DeLorean from the movie? Well, there it is. And getting out of it, Mrs. McFly, if you will. Leah Thompson, the actress that played in it. Now look at her, throwing out the ceremony of first pitch, looking back the runner. Very nice. Vin Scully taught her well. And the first pitch was just a bit high, but she liked it anyways. Can't believe it's been this long since that movie came out. But gentlemen, will that prediction from that movie, as you look at her, she's sitting right behind the Reds dugout in the first row. Will the prediction from that series of movies come true? Remember, they predicted in 2015 the Cubs would finally win the World Series.
How about that? Little did they know. What was that, 80? In the mid-80s, Jim, did you say?
I think 85 that came. 84, 85, I think. Actually, I think it was 1985. It's like 30-year anniversary.
So they predicted that the Cubs would win the World Series.
Wow.
You know, right now, the Cubs would just take for sure that they'll make the playoffs. Well, they're going strong, that's for sure, those Chicago Cubs.
I actually remember Leah Thompson a little bit more for her performance in Howard the Duck. Were you a Howard the Duck fan?
No,
I know Jim
no.
Day was.
Howard the Duck.
She was in Red Dawn. Remember Red Dawn?
Red Dawn. Howard the Duck was another mid-80s movie. I'm just so tempted to go up there and, like Marty McFly. McFly, hello. McFly.
Oh, she's probably never heard that before.
Yeah, I know. She's worn out with that. I'm sure.
But Jimmy, go ahead and try, because I've heard that she doesn't care. She really likes it. So you go right ahead and do it.
I know you've never steered me wrong, Jim. Let me go do that.
Okay. High and deep. Billy chasing. Runs out of room. Number 10 for Puig, and the Dodgers are on the board.
You better keep the ball down today here at Dodger Stadium because it is flying, especially if it is hit by a big man. And so far, two big men have hit home runs nearly to the same spot. First Frazier, now Puig.
Puig now has home runs in back-to-back series. Hit one against the Nationals, who were the team right in here at Dodger Stadium before the Reds arrived, and now he hits one here in this game. Well, the lead cut in half. It's now 2-1 Cincinnati. Here's Carl Crawford. Dodgers had Ethier start out in left field on Thursday. They had Scott Van Slyke last night. They have Carl Crawford tonight. Well, he has not started in this series. He does have a couple of hits against the Reds in this 4-game get-together. Crawford has missed a lot of time this year with a right oblique strain. Occurred near the end of April. He didn't come back until right near the 4th of July. Missed 75 games with that injury. And now he loses Crawford, does Holmberg on a 3-2 pitch. So walk number 1. The Reds lefty.
That's your number 17, A.J. Ellis.
Holmberg able to get through the first, working around the error and the base hit thanks to the double play ball hit into by Turner. He's given up the home run and a walk here in the second, and now deals with the veteran A.J. Ellis. Ellis at 206. He starts his second game of this series. He was behind the plate on Thursday, catching Matt Latos. Yasmani Grandal in there yesterday. Ellis back in there here tonight. Talk about all these rookies that the Reds have had parade to the mound. This is the 17th straight game in which a Reds rookie has started. 3 in a row here who have never faced the Dodgers and never pitched in this ballpark. It started Thursday with Sampson. Last night, of course, John Lamb, although he'd been in this ballpark many times, having grown up out here. And tonight, David Holmberg. Tomorrow will be number 18 in terms of straight starts by a rookie, Anthony DeSclafani, and then the Reds could tie that mark that you just saw on the graphic. The Cardinals, last team to do it at least 19 times, did it in 97 on Tuesday against Kansas City. That goes down as a wild pitch on Holmberg.
It looks like he was trying to throw a cutter right there, and the ball just stuck in his hand a little bit, and it really gave Brian Pena no chance at all. So that eliminates the opportunity for a double play, which is what he got in the first inning to get out of a little mini jam there. You know, the body language of David Holmberg, I'm reading that there are at least 2 pitches in this at bat that he thought were strikes that went his way. But that changeup is still above the waist. That's a pitch you want down around the knees.
And he walks his second straight. He lost Crawford at 3-2. He loses Ellis at 3-1. Tying run for the Dodgers now in scoring position, and Jeff Pico will make a trip to the mound.
You get a little nervous if you're Brian Price right here, because you don't want the Dodgers to all of a sudden wake up offensively. I mean, Jock Peterson obviously has got a lot of home run power. he's batting down the bottom of the order because he's striking out a lot. But if your pitcher has gone out there and he's walked 2 batters in a row, he shows you that he's wild. So the theory is, if you're wild outside the zone, you can be wild inside the zone, and that's when you get hammered and get hurt the most.
Heating breaks up, and now it's Holmberg to face Jock Peterson. 2 on, nobody out. A run in on the Yasiel Puig home run to center field. Peterson home it here on Thursday was number 22 for him. It came in the 4th inning against Kivas Sampson. Of those home runs he hit came before the All-Star break. And ball 1. And it's way outside to the Dodgers center fielder, now way up and in. You're talking earlier about Ivan DeJesus Jr., the Reds left fielder, and the fact that he and his father both came up through the Dodger organization and played here for LA. Same thing can be said for this guy, Jock Peterson. Ball 3. Pardon me, a strike. His dad, Stu Peterson, was drafted by the Dodgers back in the early 80s and was able to get up here and play in a grand total of 8 games with LA. That was in 1985, and now he sees his son playing for the Dodgers here in 2015. Now it's 3-1. Pitcher spot. Brett Anderson waits on deck. Holmberg catches a break there on that up and in pitch on the check swing. It tipped the bat of Peterson, so a full count.
He's flying open. You can see that front shoulder of his coming way open, the arm lagging just a little bit. Peterson tries to get out of the way, but Holmberg now still has a chance to limit the damage in this inning. Make a good pitch here, get Peterson to roll over on one. You've got the pitcher in the on deck circle. You're always trying to think positive when you're out there, and aggressive.
Broken bat pop up. This will be caught by Phillips. Infield fly rule is called, albeit late, so there are 2 out.
Well, maybe not so late. I mean, I'm not trying to correct you, Jim, except maybe to explain to our audience that the reason it seems like most umpires wait on the infield fly is because they're instructed by umpire interpretation manuals to wait until the ball reaches the very apex of its flight before it starts to come back down. So obviously sometimes balls go up in the infield and it's automatic, you think infield fly, but they will wait until the ball begins to come back down, thereby giving an infielder a chance to settle under it and, you know, coming within the guidelines of what an infield fly really is, which is reasonable effort.
And Phillips did settle under it, make the catch. So now with 2 on and 1 out, Anderson will try to bunt the runners along. Reds will look for their second double play if they can get it to get through this inning with the lead still intact. Jimmy Rollins representing the top of the order on deck. Holmberg will hope that he can get here what Lamb was able to get last night of Alex Wood when he bunted that ball right in the air near home plate, and Pena dove for it and caught it. End result was a double play with a throw to first. toward the mound. Holmberg to Phillips. Sacrifice executed by Brett Anderson, his 8th of the year. Here's what we were talking about from last night on the play with Lamb delivering here to Alex Wood. Terrific play by Pena. And then they throw on to first a double up Jock Peterson.
What an effort by Brian Pena. And completes the double play there. The hard part is coming up. There it is. I mean, keeping your eye on the ball when you're catching back there, you flip your mask off. That's picking up your pitcher.
So now it's Holmberg against Jimmy Rollins to try to keep the 2-1 lead intact. Rollins has been a much better hitter from the right side this year than he is from the left side. He comes into this game, does Jimmy Rollins, hitting .316 against lefties. And Holmberg continues to be all over the place with the strike zone. He's at 2-0. Hitting but .161 is the veteran Rollins with runners in scoring position. Leadoff home run by Puig, a walk to Crawford, followed by a walk to A.J. Ellis. Jock Peterson popped up. Brett Anderson moved the runners along with a sacrifice bunt, and now it's Rollins, second and third with 2 out. Ripped to left field. Game is tied. DeJesus gets the ball in a hurry, so forced to stop at third is A.J. Ellis. Sub 200 hitter with runners in scoring position, but Rollins comes through right there, and we are 2-2 here in the second.
Well, another off-speed pitch that is well above the waist, and Holmberg is not going to be long for this ball game unless he figures out a way to start getting the ball down around the knees. I mean, he just is not the type of pitcher that is geared to live up in the zone like that. There are some pitchers that are better up in the zone, but David Holmberg not one of them.
Here's the hot-hitting Kike Hernandez. Last couple of weeks he's up over the 400 mark. And Holmberg falls behind. Reds get 2 in the first. The Dodgers have answered with 2 so far here in the bottom of the second. Ripped to left by Hernandez. And this has been a 5-run Dodger inning. Kike Hernandez is 6th of the year.
Now, this young man has been hotter than a firecracker ever since the Reds rolled into town the other night. But again, a pitch at the top of the strike zone. This time a fastball, yes, but Hernandez is just all over it, and that ball is mashed. That'll get him going up in the Reds bullpen pronto.
6th home run of the year for Hernandez. His 7th hit of this series, and the 9th time already in this series that he has been on base. And a big 5 spot for the Dodgers so far here in the bottom of the second. Adrian Gonzalez now at the plate. Pedro Villarreal, long man out of the Reds bullpen, starting to heat up in a hurry.
Never good when you're cranking it up in the second inning.
Well, we talked about in the open the fact that dating back to the middle of September last year, Holmberg had done a pretty darn good job, but tonight in this second, he is hit up for 5 by the Dodgers. Pair of home runs, one by Puig, and the big blow, a 3-run homer by Kike Hernandez. August 20th through the 23rd at Great American Ballpark. Thanks to Reach Savings Magazine, you can catch the action and save with a 4 for $48 ticket offer. For only $48, you can get 4 view-level tickets plus 4 exclusive Reds hats. For tickets, 513-381-REDS or visit reds.com/4 for $48. Brett Anderson given a lead with which to work as he toes the rubber here in the top of the third. 5 spot in the bottom of the second has given LA a 3-run 5-2 lead. Their second big inning of this series. They scored 4 in the 5th last night. Anderson fields his position well and gets another ball hit on the ground. 7 outs in this game, all on the ground for Brett Anderson.
Number 4, Brandon Phillips.
They'll bring Phillips back to the dish.
Part of the key for the success of Brett Anderson, and he's a few years older than David Holmberg, so he understands it a little bit more, is that he is throwing a lot of first pitch strikes. First 8 batters all got first pitch strikes. I mean, he's coming off a really bad outing his last time out, and Don Mattingly figures, hey, it's going to happen from time to time. If your name is not Kershaw or Greinke, you're going to have some bad outings. And he didn't last very long in that ball game at all. In fact, he was at home and he left the ball game early. Anderson, that is, with under a cacophony of boos from the Dodger faithful. But he looks like he's rebounded now and he's got a 5-2 lead.
Well, he mentioned he's 6-7 on the year, but you look back at his season, really since the early part of May, he has been very, very good for this team. They're 11-11 in his 22 starts. Chris talked about the last time out for Anderson, a season worst. 7 runs allowed, 10 hits allowed, and an 8-3 loss to the Nationals. Look at that May through July, a 2.66 ERA. Up the middle, sliding, and the ball pops out of the hand of Hernandez. That'll be a base hit. That will extend the hitting streak of Brandon Phillips now to 8 games.
Number 7, Eugenio Suarez.
Well, Hernandez does a nice job just getting to that ball, and Brandon Phillips probably thought it was a hit all the way until he saw Hernandez skidding and nearly getting a hold of that baseball and being able to throw to first base. It would have been very close had he been able to get off the throw.
Suarez tapped one to the third base side of the mound his first time, fielded well by Anderson, who made the play. Suarez did not think he went around, but on the appeal to Mike Estabrook, he says yes, he did. So that is strikeout number 1 for Anderson.
Now, the umpires, when they're judging that particular play, they're not looking at the plate. They're not looking at whether the hitter has broken his wrist or whether his bat, is in a certain position. The rule book just says that did he make an offer to swing at the pitch? It's a little subjective, but they mostly watch the bat head.
Phillips still perched over at first now with 2 outs for Votto. Base hit to center his first time, extended his current streak of 5 games. Brett Anderson signed a 1-year contract with the Dodgers for this 2015 season. Was with Colorado last year, missed a lot of time due to injury. Had a left index finger injury last year, a lower back strain. All told, made only 8 starts for the Rockies. Frazier on deck. They'll appeal this to third. Polnart says no. Votto did not go around. So 3-2 with 2 out and a runner aboard. Phillips will be on the move. A lot of whipping action on that bat right there for Votto.
Well, again, Votto is a guy that really doesn't like to pull the inside pitch.
Lines this ball the other way. That'll get by Crawford and go to the wall. Phillips chugging toward third. He's being waved around. He will score to make this a 2-run game. 5-3 in favor of the Dodgers. Votto drove in all 3 Reds runs last night. Gets number 58 here with his second hit of the night.
Well, the guy's a remarkable hitter. There's no question about that. He looks bad on an inside pitch. You come right back thinking that you can pitch a Joey Votto like any other left-hander, and you simply cannot do that, because he's waiting for you to go back outside, even with a good curveball like that, and that is a good curve. And he just takes the ball down the left field line with authority. Young man can hit.
25th double, 42nd multi-hit game of the season for Votto. That's tops in the National League. So now it's Frazier representing the tying run. He does now what he did back in the first, and this game would be all even again. He'll get a look here now at a 2-0 pitch. Last year he had 29 homers, 80 runs batted in, so he's equaled the home run total of a year ago. Marlon Byrd on deck.
Well, it just looked like Brett Anderson was set and determined to throw everything off speed to Frazier that time, even if it meant risk of a walk. Of course, he had a base open, and that sometimes makes that decision easy.
Now Marlon Byrd. Grounded out to end the first. Bats here and tips this ball foul. Not been a good series for Byrd, 1 for 9, nor has it been a particularly good road trip. 5 hits in 28 at bats. Representing the go-ahead run here in the top of the third. Inning is over. Reds get a run, leave 2, and are down by a pair in the middle of the third. welcome this year's Hall of Fame class to Canton with the Enshrinement Festival's Timken Steel Grand Parade. Tape-delayed coverage of the parade begins on Sunday. That's tomorrow at 7:30 right here on Fox Sports Ohio. Justin Turner, the only Dodger that did not come to the plate in that 5-run second inning, leads things off. Bounced into a inning-ending 6-4-3 double play back in the first. Turner, then Puig, then Crawford. 4, 5, 6 in the Dodger order. Holmberg 47 pitches through the first 2. Tries to get himself back on track here in the third. He faced only 4 batters in the first, but got the double play ball to help him out.
Yeah, so far it's been a game of extremes for David Holmberg. 10 pitches in the first inning, 37 pitches in the second. You know, when you're having nights like this and your release point is a little bit off and you're wild, your pitching coach can only help you really between innings. I mean, you've got to be your own pitching coach yourself on the mound.
Bird chasing this toward the corner, but it is gone and a home run. Opposite field shot for Turner. He keeps building on a new career high this year. That is number 14. For him, 3 long balls for the Dodgers in this game.
Now it looks like Justin Turner prescribes to the Kevin Mitchell school of hitting, which is never try to pull a high pitch. I mean, he just goes with it the other way, right inside the foul pole down the right field line. I mean, right now, Holmberg is providing the elevation. The Dodgers are providing the thump.
Dodgers came into this series as the top home run hitting team in the National League with 138. They've hit 5 in the series, giving them now 143. 3 of them already in this game. One of them, the first, hit by this man, Puig. Villarreal back up and throwing in the Cincinnati bullpen. Third walk by Holmberg. Well, we saw him go 6 2/3. A career high his last time out, allowing 2 runs to San Diego in the 2-1 loss. This does not look like the same pitcher here tonight.
Well, you're going to have off nights. I mean, that's the one thing about pitching, but it's only about 1 every 4 or 5 times you go out there and everything works great. Every other start is kind of a grind. You're making an adjustment on top of an adjustment, and one thing works for you one inning and it doesn't work for you the next. And then you have a night like tonight where it feels like everything is going wrong and you just can't get the ball into a spot where you have to. And those are the nights that the all-star pitchers figure out a way to go 6 innings and 3 runs. And the other guys are usually in the shower by then.
Way up and in there to Carl Crawford. Remember when we first saw Holmberg come onto the scene as a Cincinnati Red, he made those back-to-back starts last year, one in early to mid-July, one in late August. Neither of them were successful starts at all. He allowed 5 runs in 2 2/3 against the Cubs. He allowed 6 runs in 2 2/3 against the Braves. But as we talked about earlier, from about the mid-September point on last year, he really appeared to be sharp for Cincinnati. And while his numbers at AAA this year were very mediocre, he came up here, he pitched pretty well. But tonight has not been one of those nights for him. Here's a comparison what we're talking about.
I mean, you're going back a long way when you get those first 3 starts. You can almost throw them out the window like you can the start that he made for the Arizona Diamondbacks in 2013. Lately, he's been a lot better. He's just got to figure out a way to get himself out of a funk when he's in it. And sometimes it's just impossible to do. I mean, everybody's going to have bad games. It just seems to me, the #1 cause usually for pitchers going awry is their front side flies open. I think the other part for David Holmberg is he's falling a little bit towards home plate, never really staying over the rubber as long as he can. And at that point, your front side's falling open, and when your front foot hits, it's time to throw. And sometimes your arm's not in the right spot. He has had only 3 first pitch strikes to the first 15 hitters of the ball game. That is a recipe that'll get you an early shower.
By contrast, you mentioned that Brett Anderson is getting a lot of first pitch strikes in there.
Well, I imagine that he probably made that his conscious decision tonight to make sure that he didn't repeat the kind of performance that he had his last time out.
Anderson has had 11 first pitch strikes of 14 batters that he has faced. Crawford walks for the second time. 4th walk by Holmberg moves Puig down to second base. Brian Price on his way to the mound. Pedro Villarreal has been up and throwing and is ready to go in the bullpen. And the Reds manager takes the ball from the 24-year-old David Holmberg. So the Reds will make a pitching change. Not the night for the Houston, Texas native David Holmberg. Our Skyline Chili called the bullpen, Pedro Villarreal. August the 22nd, a week from today, Reds will honor Hall of Famer Tony Perez Make sure you arrive early. Witness the unveiling of the legendary first baseman's bronze statue and special on-field pregame ceremonies. Plus, the first 30,000 fans in attendance will receive a replica Tony Perez statue presented by La Rosa's. For tickets, 513-381-REDS, or you can simply visit reds.com/tickets. Villarreal takes over for David Holmberg. He inherits 2 on, nobody out. A run in on the Justin Turner home run that started the inning, and a 6-3 Dodgers advantage. A.J. Ellis walked his first time. He was aboard on the 3-run homer by Hernandez. Solid base hit into center by the Dodgers catcher. Everybody moves up, and now the Dodgers have them loaded with nobody out.
Number 31.
A.J. Ellis hurting his hometown team. I say hometown because he was raised in Lexington. You know, Villarreal is the long man, and that's an interesting role, really, as far as anybody on the pitching staff. Most everybody knows when they're going to be in the ball game, or pretty much when, except for the long man. I mean, he might be the first guy in the ball game, like he is tonight out of the bullpen, or he might be the last guy in the ball game. If you go to a long extra inning ball game where the manager uses up just about every other pitcher, and you're the guy who's in there in the 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th inning. Right now, he's expected not only to get out of this inning with nobody out, but give the Reds a few innings.
Double play ball. They go to second, get an out, and not on back to first. Phillips, not sure what he was initially thinking there, because it didn't appear, did it, as if he turned toward second base as Suarez initially.
Well, it's a double play ball all the way. If he's determined that's what he's going to do, but I think he was caught in between deciding whether he was going to come home with this or whether he was going to turn 2. I don't think the runner going from first to second had anything to do with that, but that hesitation there is what cost the Reds a double play. So it awards Peterson a run batted in.
7-3 now in favor of the Dodgers. Peterson picks up his 46th RBI. Anderson now will try to bunt the runner from first along. He had a sac bunt his first time. So it's first and third with 1 out. Bunted very far, but it'll get the job done. Second sacrifice of the night for Anderson. Now it's second and third with 2 out. I hope you enjoyed the game tonight, and as you're watching, remember that later on we'll bring you a Miller Time moment of the night, brought to you by Miller Lite. Taking a look back, the last time that Villarreal had to go long man duty was at home against the Pirates on August the 2nd. He went 3 innings of no-run, no-hit baseball in that game. That was at Great American Ballpark in relief of Kivas Sampson in his major league, in his first big league start, second big league game. Seventh man to come to the plate in this inning is Jimmy Rollins, already up there for the third time in 3 frames. Villarreal appeared here on Thursday. 1 inning, no runs, 2 hits in that game. Also appeared once in the series in San Diego. Rollins is flying to left. Drove in a run with a base hit into left in the second. A beach ball get out on the field earlier. Now Rollins was in there and stepped out again.
Well, used to have an over-under on the number of beach balls you'd see here at Dodger Stadium every ball game, but that is a trend that has kind of gone cold.
Rollins chases one up near the shoulders, doesn't get it. He strikes out, and that puts an end to the bottom of the third. TV serves up real-time highlights and pitch tracking info on your out-of-market fantasy players live or on demand on over 400 devices. Blackout and other restrictions do apply. Get MLB.TV today. Reds for the 4th time against the left-hander Brett Anderson. They've plated 3 runs. 2 in the first and the 2-run homer by Frazier, and the RBI double in the 3rd by Votto. DeJesus leads things off. Final line on Holmberg, 2+ innings, 7 runs all earned, 5 hits. He walked forward, did not strike out a batter, threw a wild pitch, gave up 3 home runs. He had given up 2 home runs in his previous 3 starts, 3 of them tonight, in 2 innings plus 3 batters. Full count now to DeJesus, who bounced out of the second baseman Hernandez his first time. And he draws the walk.
How about that? I mean, you are staked to a 7-3 lead. Your team just puts a 2 spot on the board to give you 7 runs, and you go out and you walk the first hitter of the inning.
I want to recognize a couple of Reds fans celebrating a special day this past week. Big tip of the Reds cap from the Reds and Fox Sports Ohio. First, belated happy birthday to Hazel Slaughterback of Ottoville, Ohio. She turned 98 earlier this week. Happy birthday, Hazel. Happy birthday also to Paul Carter Heisey. Hope you're feeling much better, Paul. Special birthday wish also to Ann Di Silvestro, celebrating her 100th birthday today. Happy birthday, Ann Di Silvestro.
Well, that one's barking a little bit for Brian Pena, trying to walk it off. He's got that little mini batter shin guard that he wears up there. I'm not exactly sure where that ball hit him. Let's take a look. Oh, probably right on the same spot.
Rollins gets to it. Wide throw and safe at second base. DeJesus came off the bag as if he thought he was out.
Well, they're going to take a look at it, at least in the Dodgers video room. And the question is, did the throw take the fielder off the bag? Looks like a tailor-made double play right here. Another ground ball off of Anderson. The flip by Rollins just a little bit too high. And the question is, did he have control while he was in contact with the base? And Don Mattingly is going to come out, and the first thing he's going to probably do is ask for an umpire review, rather than waste one himself. But it looks like he's going to get a review one way or another.
Remember, they can't review a in the neighborhood play.
Well, only if that is not a quote-unquote true throw, meaning the throw from the fielder to the defender who's covering the bag is true enough that it doesn't pull the guy off the base. And the question is, did he have control as he was on the bag, and did he lose the ball in the transition of trying to prepare a throw to first base?
We've looked at it a couple of times on the big board here. This is, by the way, a Dodgers challenge. Yeah. The throw definitely was wide, so I wouldn't call that a true throw, would you?
We'll see how they interpret it. We'll take another look at it. Now, he caught it there, and now he's opened the glove to try to get it out. That's a difficult one to throw to call. I would suggest that they're probably going to call him out at second base on that, because the ball is in the back of the webbing, as you see right there. It seems to be in control, and even though the throw was wide, he still had his foot on the bag when the ball was in the glove. So right there, he's out, and in the transition he loses the baseball. I would imagine that this is going to go against the Reds.
Again, the call on the field was safe at second. They overturn it. Video evidence suggests that he was out at second base, so DeJesus Was correct in his initial assumption. He thought he was out. And indeed he is. So that'll go 6-4 and a 4-shot. Call overturned. Villarreal bats for himself here in the 4th inning. Career, he's 1 for 5 at the plate. I'm trying to move Pena along. Hamilton on deck. Ooh, a bad attempt there by Villarreal, puts him down 2 strikes. That's the second out. So if the Reds are to keep this 4th inning going, it'll take something from Billy Hamilton. Turn around and bat from the right side, where he is a natural hitter from this side of the plate. Hamilton, 241 batting right-handed, 223 batting left-handed. Had a home run here on Thursday night. It came in the 8th inning. Came from the right side against J.P. Howell.
Now they're playing him in on the corners as they normally do. Billy Hamilton doesn't necessarily need a bunt to get an infield hit. He's got 15 infield hits on the year. And those 15 hits consist of nearly 13% of the overall number of hits he has on the season. We're banging it into the ground, Billy, but you got to get a pitch down around the knees to do that.
On the ground by the mound. Hernandez had kicked off the base. Good reaction by Jimmy Rollins backing it up, but Billy's going to get himself
another infield hit.
Indeed. Anderson went sprawling out on the mound trying to reach back for that thing.
Well, Anderson's not the most nimble of pitchers out there. He's a big guy. He really falls off to the third base side. He tries to grab it to no avail, and that ball ends up hitting the bag, and when that happens, all bets are off. Anderson, you may have seen last inning or maybe earlier this inning when he was fixing his shoelace. He was pulling up his pant leg, and he's got a little bit of an ankle brace on, it looks like, to protect that Achilles tendon that he had problems with earlier this year. Well, you know, Billy Hamilton ought to have that, what do they call that, a GIF or a GIF? You know, it's a video that loops that just never stops. He ought to have that play on his phone every time he picks it up, because good things happen when Billy Hamilton puts the ball on the ground. I mean, even a little 25 hopper like that turns into a base hit.
Reds trying to take advantage, but Phillips hits the ball hard to third, and the Dodgers just barely get the force out at second on Hamilton. Bottom of the 4th upcoming. Reds down 4. Go further. By Meyer. Find more for a healthier you at Meyer. And by Cincinnati Children's, ranking 3rd in the country on U.S. News and World Report's Best Children's Hospital. Evening settling in here in Los Angeles. Those Reds fans not as happy as they would like to be. Their club down by 4 here in the bottom of the 4th, 7-3, but hope springs eternal for them. Long way to go in this game. Well, you get down here at the ballpark, you can always go for a Dodger dog. Something we have not enjoyed yet during this series.
You're right. We'll see if we can snag one here when they put him out in the media room around the 5th or 6th inning.
Take one for the ride back to the hotel. Pedro Villarreal came on in the 3rd in relief of David Holmberg. Holmberg faced 3 batters in that inning, did not retire one of them. Pedro struck out Rollins to end the 3rd. And he gets Kike Hernandez, who reached on an error and launched that 3-run homer back in the 2nd, leading things off here in the 4th. Dodgers start the day 2.5 games ahead of the Giants. Both won yesterday. Giants playing at home tonight against the Washington Nationals, trailing early in that game 2-0. One of the few sightings we've seen so far in this series of the hitting coach of the Dodgers, Mark McGwire. McGwire, the longtime Oakland player, then a Cardinal player. Ended his career with 583 home runs, 10th on the all-time list. And for a while held the all-time home run mark in a single season. Remember that 98 year, he hit 70. He and Sammy Sosa were going back and forth. Ultimately his mark broken by Barry Bonds. Barry hit 73 in 2001. Milwaukee a winner today, 4-2 at home over Philadelphia. Chase Utley, well, he's been swinging a great bat for Philly. His name keeps being brought up in trade rumors, most notably with San Francisco. He homered today, but the Brewers win. They try to inch closer to the Reds, trying to get out of the National League Central cellar. The Reds start today 3.5 ahead of Milwaukee. A big series going on north of the border in Toronto. We were talking about it yesterday. Yankees get a big home run from Carlos Beltran late in the game last night to win 4-3 at Toronto, and today they win 4-1. So the Yankees win the first 2 games of that series and now lead the AL East again by a game and a half. Here comes DeJesus playing this ball on the bat of Hernandez, and he will make the play. The leadoff man is out. Time now for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Simply use hashtag OhioDataStrongFan. might see yourself involved in an upcoming broadcast. Brought to you by T-Mobile. Hashtag Ohio Data Strong Fan. We'll have a photo of the game a little bit later on. Big scoring game of the day comes from Boston. Torey Lovullo, he has managed that club for 2 days now. Finished out the season there following John Farrell's stepping down yesterday. Diagnosed with stage 1 lymphoma, beginning chemotherapy treatment next week. Boston scored 15 yesterday. Today they scored 22 on 26 hits. Defeat Seattle 22-10. It looks like the -1 point was the Bengals football score last night. They won 23-10 over the Giants. 22 runs, 26 hits for the Red Sox today behind Wade Miley. Driven the other way by Gonzalez, and that ball will get out. Second in 2 days for the Dodger leader in home runs. 24th now for him on the year. 4 home runs in this game for LA.
You know, when you give up a home run like that, you almost feel like you just ought to tip your hat to the hitter, because he takes it the other way. Let's take another look at it. I thought the pitch was down, and it was. And it takes a very rare hitter to be able to go down and get that ball and drive it out opposite field here in this ballpark, even with the ball carrying tonight. Not everybody can do that. Now, when you hang a pitch up in their eyes or around their letters, and they pull it and they hit it a long way, those are the hangers that you feel like that you cause as a pitcher. But when Gonzalez takes you opposite field like that on a pitch down and away, hey, sometimes you just chalk it up.
Let's see, the Dodgers have home runs tonight from their 2, 3, 4, and 5 hitters. Hernandez, Gonzalez, Turner, and Puig. At the top of their order doing damage, virtually the same thing that happened last night, not in terms of the long ball, but in terms of the damage. The top 4 Dodger hitters last night, Rollins, Hernandez, Turner, Gonzalez, won a collective 8 out of 15. Drove in all 5 runs, scored all 5 runs. Turner hits it hard. He got jammed somewhat on the pitch, and DeJesus is able to make the catch on the edge of the track.
Well, there's been so many home runs hit tonight that anytime a Dodger hits a ball into the air, there's a collective gasp or a cheer of hope. This guy's plenty strong enough to get him out of here. I imagine they're a little disappointed in the fact that he only has 10 so far this season, even though he's missed some time.
He was on the DL earlier this year, late April through the early days of June with a left hamstring strain. He missed 38 games. Muscled one out of here to center. His first time, that led off the second. First Dodger run of this game. In fact, it was the first of a 5-run second inning.
Well, if you've watched closely how the Reds have tried to pitch Puig in this series, I mean, you see that they really want to stay away from the fastball when possible. Doesn't mean you're never going to throw him one. There's one right there, a little sinker. But, I mean, he's looking for fastball just about every chance he gets. Jeff Pico advised last night's starter John Lamb that he's susceptible to changeup. In fact, Lamb went back-to-back-to-back changeups to strike him out last night.
Muscles this ball out to right, but Bird covers the ground and gets there. Dodgers add a run and a home run by Adrian Gonzalez. They lead 8-3 through 4.
Jim Day, let's keep you updated on what's going on down on the farm. One of the 3 left-handers came over in that Cueto deal. Cody Reed went back to the hill for Double-A Pensacola, and look at these numbers. 7 innings pitched, no runs, did walk 4 batters, but struck out 10. And guys, Jesse Winker did it again. 5th home run in as many games, and this came in a scoreless game in the 8th. To give Pensacola a 2-0 lead, but a 2-run home run, 5 in 5 games for one of the Reds' top prospects. And Cody Reed, that big giant lefty, continues to get it done for the Blue Wahoos.
Good to see that. You mentioned Jesse Winker. He is the top prospect for Cincinnati. Reed, one of the guys that came over in the Cueto deal, is listed as the 9th best prospect. Kairi Maya, who came over in the deal with San Francisco for Mike Leake, he's listed as the number 5 prospect.
Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that in the order of the top prospect down to the lowest prospect that's an order which you're going to see him advance to the major league.
Right.
I mean, your high prospects might even be back in A-ball or in Double-A. But you're going to more likely see guys coming up out of AAA. At least that's usually the way the Reds operate. There are other ball clubs that reach down into Double-A regularly and bring players up. The Reds aren't usually one of those teams.
Interesting that when you look at the list, this year's number 1 pick, Tyler Stevenson, a catcher, is already at number 4. Amir Garrett, who had a pretty good effort yesterday, is number 3 on the list.
But again, Garrett is down and still in A ball.
High A, right. Third strikeout for Brett Anderson is Eugenio Suarez. Now it's Votto. Votto a couple of hits tonight, a single, scored in the first. Aboard on the Frazier home run, doubled in Phillips in the third. Thank you, by the way, Chris, for the Farmer John Dodger dog.
It's the least I can do. I thought you'd have one tonight. I understand that the Reds don't win at least one of the next 2 ball games, they will be serving those on the plane on the way home. And only those.
Only be a few of us that enjoy that. Both of us are named Jim. I assume, Jim Day, that you're a big fan of Dodger dogs.
They used to be a lot better than they are now.
Yeah?
Yes.
How's that?
They're not as good anymore. I don't know what to say. But Chris, I have a question for you. Did you know that they have veggie Dodger dogs here? I know you don't eat meat, so.
You're kidding. Now
they do.
You perked my interest. I went down and got that Dodger dog for Jim Kelch, thinking, well, I'm going to be left out again. And I'm going to have to try to ferret one of those out.
I'll have to try to seek one out for you. The veggie Dodger dog.
You don't think they have them there in the concession area?
I'm going to go ask next inning.
Yeah. They may look at you and say, "You want what?"
Oh no, not out here in California.
So that must have been veggie tongue that you had the other night.
Well, I think the cow it came from was eating vegetables.
That's how that worked. I wondered how that worked.
Eating his greens.
Of which they eat a lot. Frazier a homer and a walk so far in this game. Reds down by 5 at 8-3 here in the top of the 5th. He homered in the first.
Looked so bright early on when Frazier connected right here after a single by Joey Votto. Brett Anderson didn't like it. They walked him the second time up when he came around with a man on second base. They had first base open. It was Votto again on second base. Frazier one home run behind Bryce Harper in the National League lead.
And Harper has not homered tonight in that Washington game. They lead at San Francisco to the Nationals 2-0. Ian Desmond has homered, but nothing yet out of Bryce Harper. Bird waits on deck.
Now the Cubs continue to win. They have won now 9 games in a row. They beat the White Sox in a Windy City matchup down on the south side with Jake Arrieta getting win number 14.
Turner made a nice play on the ball, but then short hop Gonzalez, who couldn't quite pick that thing. Ball bounces out of play. Frazier down to second base.
Gonzalez is one of the best around in scoops. But Turner just kind of cuts it loose sidearm and Not even close to getting there on a fly.
An error on both sides in this game. Two-out base runner.
You know what Gonzalez does on that play, which is what infield instructors teach, is that when you see a scoop opportunity coming, you bend down really low. I mean, you get your tailgate down and you get your eye level as low as possible, just like they teach you to field a ground ball. You don't field a ground ball when you're standing straight up, and you don't try to scoop a ball at first base when you're standing straight up.
Bird has bounced out twice in this game, once to third, once back to the mound. This one in the air to center, but Peterson will handle it to retire the side. Next, why don't you head on over to the Fox Sports Ohio pregame warm-up at the Rhine House at Over the Rhine in Cincinnati. It's your chance to win great prizes and be a part of the energy downtown on a game day. Party starts at 5. That's this Thursday at the Rhine House in Over the Rhine. Carl Crawford bats first against Pedro Villarreal. Second full inning of work for the right-hander. He allowed a home run in the fourth inning to Gonzalez. Crawford has walked twice, scored a run. And now has himself a hit, so he's been on 3 times. 8th hit of the game for the Dodgers, whose hit total now equals their run total. A.J. Ellis has walked and singled, so he's been on twice. Phillips and Votto chasing, and Brandon and Votto come together, and neither of them got it. For Joey, it was going to be an over-the-shoulder catch. For Phillips, he appeared to have the better angle at that ball. I don't know the communication situation between the two on this.
I'm not sure if anybody said anything right here. man doesn't seem to be saying anything. I doubt Votto was.
That goes down as a no play. No error given. Dodgers yet to go down in order in this game. They scored 5 in the second, threatened in the first, with a double play ball hit into by Justin Turner. Ended that opportunity for them. 5 in the second, 2 in the third, a run in the fourth. And the leadoff man on here in the fifth. Ellis chased that ball, didn't get it. He's a strikeout victim, the second of the game for Villarreal.
Or just about every pitch that he threw in that at bat, down and away to A.J. Ellis and off the plate.
Mrs. McFly.
There's Leah from Howard the Duck and from Red Dawn, in which she was in there with Charlie Sheen, one of Jim Day's best buddies, especially when he comes out here to Los Angeles. He snuggles up out there at the Sheen mansion.
He could use that as an intro line to Leah. Hey, we have a mutual friend.
All he has to do is show her his picture over there at the Charlie Sheen sidewalk, star in the Walk of Fame.
His cousin Carl, or Jim. I'm not sure if it was Jim or his cousin. I'm not sure which one that was.
Let's take another look at it. If you weren't with us last night, Jim Day, I mean, where is Jim Day today? Jim's off day. There it is. And in Los Angeles, it doesn't get any better than that.
Got a twin cousin Carl. They were collectively enjoying Hollywood. Peterson puts a charge into this ball into center, but Billy will run it down on the warning track.
Pitcher Brett Anderson.
2 out now for Anderson. Two plate appearances, 2 sacrifice bunts for Brett Anderson tonight. DeHaze is closing in on this ball, and he makes the catch. And a 0 on the board here in the bottom of the 5th for the Dodgers. In the Staples Advantage Triple Play Suites. Enjoy indoor and outdoor seating and unlimited ballpark buffet and much more. If you'd like information, you can contact the Reds Group Sales Department. Their number 513-765-7600 or visit reds.com/groups. Brett Anderson was the last out of the bottom of the 5th, so it takes him a little longer to get ready, get to the mound. Get ready to work the top of inning number 6. Finale of this series here tomorrow afternoon. The 4:10 Cincinnati time first pitch. 3:30 with Reds Live. Anthony DeSclafani against right-hander Zach Greinke. Greinke, of course, the starter for the National League side in the All-Star game at Great American Ballpark earlier this year. Had that long consecutive inning streak going. And first batter he faced in the All-Star game, Mike Trout, took him deep opposite field. Didn't break the streak, of course. It's only regular season innings. He'll pitch here tomorrow afternoon against Brian Price's club.
If I'm not mistaken, he has an opportunity to opt out of his contract after this year, which would make him a free agent, and it'd be interesting to see what the Dodgers do. If Dodgers, if nothing else, usually have found a way to have cash to spend. Money that they have guaranteed players on their roster this year exceeds $300 million, which is more than twice, way more than twice that than what the Reds have. Which brings you back to the same old conversation about big market, small market, fair and unfair.
Local TV contracts. Anderson sitting now at 96 pitches as he works here in the 6th inning. Last night we saw Alex Wood come out of the game after only 82 pitches in 6 1/3. Don Mattingly was asked about that after the game. He said, we got out of Wood what we wanted to get out of him last night.
I think Anderson, they lead on a little bit more than they would Alex Wood. One interesting note about Anderson is that when he was an 18-year-old, even though he went to high school in Stillwater, Oklahoma, he played on the U.S. national 18U team alongside Clayton Kershaw. So here he is in the major leagues. Those two teammates reunited again.
Pena gets the base hit with 1 out. Now Jay Bruce getting the night off in terms of starting in this game. Will pinch hit for Villarreal, who goes 3 innings. Gets the Reds through the 5th in relief of David Holmberg. So Bruce bats with 1 on, 1 out. Yimi Garcia, right-hander, throwing in the Dodger bullpen.
Well, the options for Brian Price, as far as the pinch hitter right here, really boil down to Bruce Schumacher or Jason Bourgeois. And Bourgeois is a right-hander. And of course, late in the ball game, if the Reds are able to tighten this ball game up, the Dodgers closer Kenley Jansen is right-handed. But Bruce has a remarkable record for taking left-handers deep. And maybe that Brian Price is hoping for right here, a little lightning in the bottle.
Jay hitting .243 on the year with 18 home runs. But has had a tough time on this road trip. That'll go 3, 6, 3, and a double play. Ends the Reds' 6th inning here at Dodger Stadium.
Reds. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cincinnati Reds.
Time now for our Data Strong Fan photo of the game. Remember, tweet your strongest fan photo to hashtag Ohio Data Strong Fan for a chance to be featured in an upcoming broadcast. Brought to you by T-Mobile. Here's our Data Strong Fan photo of the game tonight, and another shot from Great American Ballpark. Meanwhile, new pitcher on for the Reds, their 3rd of the night. This is Ryan Matthews.
5th time that Ryan has been in the ball game in this long road trip, the 3-city road trip that the Reds are ending after tomorrow's game. They went to Arizona, San Diego, won one game in each of those cities. And Matthews pitched twice in Arizona, once in San Diego. Here's his second outing at Dodger Stadium. Not a bad outing for Pedro Villarreal. It came under tough circumstances. Gave up a base hit to the first batter he faced. Ended up giving up one extra run in that inning. And other than the home run that Adrian Gonzalez hit off of him opposite field, he did a very nice job.
Matthews, who follows him, throws his first pitch, and it's sent hard into right by Jimmy Rollins for a base hit. So Rollins 2 for 4. Chris mentioned that Matthews worked earlier in the series. He worked on Thursday, following Kivas Sampson to the mound, who went 5. Allowed a run on 2 hits. 9 hits now for the Dodgers in this game. At 11 on Thursday, 11 last night. Looking for double figures for the 3rd straight game in this series. Well, they get on base, that's for sure. The Dodgers came into this series with the best on-base percentage in the National League, trailing only Toronto in all of Major League Baseball for the best percentage of getting on base. Toronto at 331, the Dodgers at 330. Double play ball. Phillips, Suarez, Votto. Hit into by Kike Hernandez. One of the few times they've been able to handle Hernandez in this series.
And he still hit it hard. It just happened to be right at the second baseman. You'll take that all day long.
Two out now for Adrian Gonzalez. Shot one over the wall in right field last night against John Lamb. Hit one in the opposite field in the 4th inning here against Villarreal.
It's funny, Jimmy, you're talking about the on-base percentage as a team collectively for the Dodgers. They're 2nd in the league this year. They were 1st in the league last year, so it's not something that has just come recently to them. Mark McGwire has done a nice job as a hitting coach here, and you know, a lot of people were surprised by that, thinking, well, what would McGwire really have to lend to a contact hitter or a guy that needs to, you know, take 2 strikes and hit it to right field? But he really concentrates most of his efforts not really on the mechanics of the swing, but on strike zone control and approach and what you're looking for and tendencies of a pitcher and what pitches that you can hit and what you can't hit, and why practice pitches that are, you know, nearly unhittable until you have 2 strikes on you. Well, that'll be the areas where the Dodgers excel this year is in their percentage of line drives. They are 2nd in the league in that category. Reds aren't bad. They're 7th in that category. Where they really are different is what they do when they chase the first pitch. And on the first pitch, the Dodgers are very good with a .358 batting average as a team. Reds are down around the bottom of the league and bottom of all of baseball when they hit only .318 on the first pitch.
Against the shift, it's Phillips. 3 batters and out go the Dodgers in the bottom of the 6th inning, thanks to the double play for Ryan Matthews. Honda game summary brought to you by Honda. Todd Frazier leadoff home run in the first inning. The first of the many that have been hit in this game gave the Reds the early 2-0 lead. Puig gets the Dodgers on the board with his 10th in the bottom of the second. Later in the inning, Kike Hernandez cranks this one up, number 6, with 2 men aboard. Capped a 5-run second. The Dodgers led it 5-2. Bottom of the third. That timing mechanism with that leg kick there by Justin Turner. He goes the other way with number 14. Solo shot there. Here's an opposite field number by Adrian Gonzalez in the 4th. Team leading 24th of the year. That one against Pedro Villarreal. All told, 5 home runs in the game, 4 of them by the Dodgers. Our Honda game summary tells us that the Dodgers lead this one 8-3 heading into the 7th. New pitcher on for LA. This is Yimi Garcia. Hamilton leading it off. And that base hit in the 4th inning when the ball slowly rolled up the middle, hit the bag, bounced over the glove of Hernandez, the second baseman, into the glove of Rollins, who had no play at first. Now Billy pops it up. Rollins will go out. Jimmy will make the catch. And Billy is the first out here in the 7th. 16th year in the big leagues for Jimmy Rollins.
You know, he may no longer be an all-star, but he brings fiber with him when he came over here to the Dodgers. I mean, he's a guy with an attitude, and that's the one thing the Dodgers really thought that they needed in their clubhouse is some leadership, and he brings that. And you know, his numbers this year offensively at the top of the order aren't all that great, but I mean, you can see the way he's out there right now, smiling, having a good time. I mean, he's a very heady ball player. Been around a while. He drafted by the Phillies back in 1996 and traded over here in the offseason. And the other guy that they're thinking about trading, evidently, if you believe all the rumors that you're reading, is Chase Utley, who evidently has passed through waivers, which gives the Phillies an opportunity to trade him, even though the trading deadline is come and gone. I hear the Giants might be interested. The Angels might be interested.
Well, the main combo up the middle for the Dodgers last year was Hanley Ramirez at shortstop and D. Gordon at second base. Gordon now with the Marlins. Hanley Ramirez with Boston. Puig played center field most of the time last year. He's in right, making way for Jock Peterson and Grandal behind the plate. So that main core of defenders up the middle, catcher, short, second, and center, all different this year for LA.
Of course, you remember that Hernandez at second, and despite the fact that he's having a tremendous series against the Reds, he's really a fill-in. And Howie Kendrick is the everyday second baseman who is on the disabled list. When do they expect to get him back?
Well, he went on the 10th
of August.
With a strained left hamstring. I don't know. I guess it depends on how quickly he can heal. He's had a nice year for them here. Longtime Angel, now a Dodger.
Well, you talk about a pitcher that uses his legs, and Yimi Garcia falls in that category. I mean, he really coils and then just fires off. Watch his right foot down here as he just fires off that rubber and just really uses a lot of his lower half to get some velocity up there. I'm not so sure it's just raw power and velocity, because his fastball is 93, which is modest by today's reliever standard. But he kind of jumps at you, and he may have a little deception in that.
Reds go in order for the second time in this game.
.62, you can't tell by the way they had the upkeep on this stadium. It's hosted 8 World Series, 11 no-hitters, including 2 perfect games. Hosted an NHL game, basketball with the Harlem Globetrotters, boxing and ski jumping, and many, many concerts, including the Beatles, Elton John, Rolling Stones, Bruce Springsteen, U2, Kiss, and many, many more. And in 2006, they returned the seating to its original makeup. Originally seats, and nowadays bright yellow, orange, turquoise, and sky blue. And in classic LA form, it is designed to represent the ocean and the beach. The Dodger Stadium, one of a kind, third oldest ballpark in the bigs, but you wouldn't know it.
You forgot to add on that list Back to the Future night, among the many big things that this facility has hosted.
Indeed. And Fleetwood Mac, the famous video, Tusk in 1979, shot here. And many, many movie scenes.
Leah hanging in there.
And Leah Thompson, yes. Do you think that look that I had, Charlie Sheen Walk of Fame star, do you think that would be a good opening line?
Well, might get your part in a movie.
And as I said to you earlier, I think it'll go. I think it'll work. Go ahead. I've never led you astray. So go ahead, Jimmy, and report back. I think she's aching to meet Carl.
Right fielder number 66, Yasiel Puig.
Ryan Matthews has gone more than an inning only 3 times this year. The last time he did that was on the 27th of June at New York against the Mets. And he is back out there for a second inning here tonight. Gets Turner on the line out. He has Puig now. Hit the ball hard, but out into right center as last time. Hit that solo home run back in the second. One of the 4 that the Dodgers have hit tonight. by the way, the last couple of nights we have mentioned to our good friend Jeff Pecoro back at the studio some of the many celebrities that we have seen that are on his list of favorites, and we have spotted another one tonight.
Who's that?
Well, we'll wait and reveal that a little bit later on, but one of his all-time favorite female actresses.
Ooh, wow. The intrigue.
It's big. The pick be ready. You and I had a big moment earlier tonight, Chris, before the game. We had about a 15-minute sit-down here in the booth with the legendary one himself, Vin Scully.
That was just remarkable. Some of the stories he tells that in his recall, I mean, going back to the 50s and telling stories about, you know, some of the greatest players in the world in the history of baseball, and he can recall, you know, not only the player and the incident, but the score of the game and the inning and the count on the batter. It just, what a treat it is to come to Los Angeles and, I mean, just have a chance to sit down with just a couple of minutes with Vin.
Man, he told the story about one of the greatest things that ever happened to baseball on radio was the transistor radio.
Well, it happened right here. I mean, it's peculiar, and specifically to Vin Scully and the Dodgers, because so many people here back in the days of the transistor radio, the 60s, 70s, and even into the 80s, they would bring transistor radios and listen while they're sitting in the stands to Vin Scully on the radio. And I can tell you, as a player, we've had a transistor that we would take down to the bullpen and listen to Vin talk and do the play-by-play. But you could hear when you were on the mound, if it was a particularly quiet night, maybe a smaller crowd, and they weren't making a lot of noise, you could hear the radio broadcast through all of those transistor radios while you were pitching the ball game. It was a very eerie type of a feeling.
He told the story that Jerry Royce would come up to him later on and say, I stepped off the mound because you were in the middle of the storm and I wanted to hear the end of it. He said Walter Alston called up here one night and he said, what are you doing? Because he had the crowd wishing a happy birthday to the umpire. He would say A, they would say B, and then they would they wished the umpire a happy birthday, and he called up and said, what do you got him doing down there? What's going on? Taking off from first is Puig. He gets the steal.
It seems like a real blowout right now, but there's only 5-run difference in this ball game, and you know this is not like this game is out of reach, and that's why Puig, if you're giving him a chance to steal, you're taking it. This is not by any means rubbing it in.
Crawford been on all 3 times tonight. He has walked twice and singled. Just to finish up the story too about Vin Scully, at the end of the session that we had with him here in the booth, we had a picture taken with him.
We did indeed, and I tweeted that out on my Twitter account, so anybody who happens to want to see that picture.
Off the body of Matthews, he's going to recover. Oh, throw was a little high. Votto jumped for the ball. Foot came off the base. Everybody's safe.
You know, pitchers follow through in different ways. Most power pitchers really come a little bit off balance. That ball came back on Matthews quickly. And he recovers. He thought he had him, and if he had been able to get that ball down, he would have had a different conversation with himself after the play was ended.
That goes down as a hit for Crawford, so he's been on all 4 times he's been at the plate tonight. First and third now with 1 out for A.J. Ellis. Recently activated from the disabled list, warming up now in the Dodger bullpen. Double play ball. Suarez, Phillips, Votto.
Team man.
Inning over. Third double play for the Red Legs tonight, and we're through 7. Goes back to the mound for his second inning worth of work. Retired the Reds in order in the 7th, and he gets a crack at the heart of the Reds order here in the 8th. That means Votto, Frazier, and Bird. Joey, a pair of hits in this game. He is the only Red to have 2 hits. Reds had but 6 in the game, trail by 5 at 8-3. Crawford handles that, so Votto is retired. Joey 2 for 4. That's the first out here in the 8th inning. Votto with that 2-run homer in the 6th inning last night to make it a 5-3 game. Reds were right back in it, but did not have another base runner after that. The final 12 Reds were retired last night. And down in order tonight in the 7th. First man out here in the 8th. Now it's Frazier. He had a home run, 2-run shot back in the 1st. Went up to get that ball and lines it out into left field. Crawford has it drop in front for a hit, so Frazier joins Votto with a multi-hit game here tonight. He's aboard with one out.
Number 9, Marlon Bird.
Left-handed J.P. Howell throwing in the Dodger bullpen. Bird looking for that 20th home run. If he can get it, it would be the 3rd consecutive year and the 4th time in his career that he's hit 20 or more. He's sitting lifetime at 150 home runs. Liner caught, throw back, double play.
Boy, not good.
That puts an end to the Reds' 8th inning on that line drive by Marlon Bird. That luxury suite at Great American Ballpark. The suite features an all-inclusive food and beverage package, flat panel TVs, and luxury furnishings. Host your next group outing by calling the Reds Group Sales Department at 513-765-7600 or visit reds.com/groups. The pitcher on is Jumbo Diaz. Hey, there's one of the All-Star hats. Young lady has that on here at the ballpark. Champ Peterson showing his picture on the video board here. That's the younger brother of Jock Peterson. We had a chance to meet him up here in the press box earlier. He came up specifically to say hi to Vin.
And Vin was thrilled to death.
Jumbo Diaz takes over for the Reds. 2 innings worth of no-run, 3-hit baseball for Ryan Matthews. 39th appearance of the year for Jumbo. The 5th on this trip. Twice in Arizona, once in San Diego, and back-to-back games here. He worked an inning, no runs, 1 hit, but walked 2 when he pitched last night. Another big crowd here tonight of over 46, almost 47,000, 46,807. Back to the future night. Alex Guerrero on deck to hit for Yimi Garcia. There's Champ Peterson, younger brother of Jock Peterson. Hard to the right of Phillips, gets it, plants, throws, and out at first base. Nice play by
Brandon, really nice play.
Two innings worth of work for Yimi Garcia for the Dodgers. He's lifted here, and Alex Guerrero off the bench to pinch hit. Hitting .236 on the year with 11 home runs. He's driven in 32. Guerrero pinch hit in the 9th inning on Thursday. Flied out. In fact, he was the last out of that game. Retired by Pedro Villarreal. So the Dodgers will employ a new pitcher come the top of the 9th. They'll be leading at least by 5. Jimmy Rollins waits on deck. If the Reds fail tonight, they certainly have a tough chore ahead of them to split this series tomorrow afternoon. One of the best the game of baseball has to offer, and Zach Greinke. Reaching for that ball, hit in the air toward left, long run Diaz, and he's not going to get to it. Pinch hit, base hit for Alex Guerrero. Remember, every weeknight, don't miss MLB Whip Around on Fox Sports 1. You'll get highlights, instant analysis, live look-ins from around the league. MLB Whip Around is weeknights at 7 Eastern on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Pinch hit by Guerrero, the 12th hit of the game for the Dodgers. Back to the top of the order now, and Jimmy Rollins, who has a pair of those hits. Hit safely in each game of this series. That one in the dirt. Runner takes off. Throw down is in time. And out at second. That did not bounce far enough away. At least not as far away as the Dodgers thought it might. Out at second trying to advance is Guerrero.
That's still really good hustle on the part of Brian Pena. Not conceding a thing. Guy's a ball player.
So 2 out now for Rollins. That is not considered, if you're scoring along or wondering, not considered a caught stealing. It's out trying to advance to second. 2-6 because the runner was not going when the ball bounced away. Kike Hernandez on deck. Fifth walk given up by Reds pitching in this game puts Rollins on for the 3rd time. Make sure you're ready for Reds game tomorrow. That's 30 minutes before the contest. With Reds Live pregame on Fox Sports Ohio. Reds Live pregame presented by Ray St. Clair Roofing. Tomorrow it'll come your way at 3:30. Game starts at 4:10 Cincinnati time. There's the pitching matchup. 12-game winner Zach Greinke. It's Anthony DeSclafani of the Reds gunning for his 8th win. Greinke is the leader in the league in ERA at 1.59. In fact, he is the leader in Major League Baseball with that 1.59 ERA. The only pitcher in either league's top 10 with an ERA of under 2. Ripped by Kike Hernandez to right, but Bird runs it down right in front of the wall. Boy, this guy's had a terrific series, but he's out here to end the bottom of the 8th. American League, best records in MLB, all come, or the top 4, I should say, come from the Central Division. The Cardinals, the Pirates, and the Cubs, 3 of the top 4 out of the NL Central. Kansas City at 70 wins, second best record in baseball. Then these Dodgers are 5th, 65 and 51. If they win tonight, they'd go to 66 and 51. Could be an all Missouri World Series. You never know. Johnny Cueto, the former Red, pitching for that Kansas City club again tonight. Another dominant performance for him. 8 innings of 1-run, 8-hit baseball. It's his 9th win. Beats the Angels 9-4. This is Chris Hatcher into the game.
30-year-old right-hander from North Carolina. Actually went to UNC Wilmington, 5th round pick by the Marlins, and makes his way over here after spending a little bit of time as a 26-year-old a few years ago with Miami, and then last few years also with Miami out of the bullpen 52 times last year, 27 before tonight this year with the Dodgers.
Came off the 60-day DL yesterday for LA. Went down with a side muscle injury in June. He tries to close it out and get Brett Anderson a win if he can get it, and leaving Anderson's record at 7-7. Right now the pitchers of record are the starters. Anderson 3 runs, 6 hits, 6 innings. On the Dodgers side of things for the Reds, David Holmberg, his worst start of the year as far as the Reds are concerned. He allowed 7 runs, 5 hits, 4 walks, 2+ innings, and was in trouble the entire time he was out there. He retired the leadoff man Rollins on a fly ball to left and was in trouble really for the rest of his outing. Hatcher gets the strikeout of the leadoff man here in the ninth.
Number 29, Brian Pena.
Pena has a hit tonight. Reds lose this one tonight. They're guaranteed to have a sub-500 road trip. They lose this, they'll be 3-6 through the first 9 with 1 to go. Hernandez throws out Pena, so 2 out. And now Skip Schumacher, pardon me, will bat for Jumbo Diaz.
Pitch hitting for the Reds, number 55, Skip Schumacher.
Schumacher here in the 9th inning. Pinch hit here in the game on Thursday in the 8th inning and grounded out, the former Dodger. Slaps it to Turner. And the game is over. The Dodgers, after dropping the first game of this series to the Redlegs, have won the next 2. The Reds will need a win tomorrow afternoon to get out of town with a split. The final score tonight, the Dodgers 8, the Reds 3. We'll be back with more in a moment.